statement of what the government proposes to do and then showing here, sir. Sir, in this sense, the governor's address has special significance and it should reflect the balance sheet of the government functioning in the previous year and the agenda for the ensuing year. So the people of the state and political parties in particular look forward to the governor's address to know the government's perspective on various issues and judge its performance in the outgoing year and assess its priorities for the forthcoming years. Looked at this way, the governor's address this time does not exactly indicate how the government proposes to tackle the many burning issues facing the state and the people, sir. Sir, in fact, the governor's address conveniently ignores some key issues and does not portray the gravity of the prevailing situation and problems faced by the different section of people, including the farming community, students, youth, minorities and other weaker sections. The issue of future of the state in backdrop. Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, kindly bring the House in order, sir. Sir, and I also request the opposition party to please let me speak, let me conclude. No, please.
BScలో తీసుకున్నటువంటి నిర్ణయానుసారంగా గవర్నర్ గారి ప్రసంగం
separate Telangana and the counter demand for continuance of Samek AP issue also hangs in fire, sir. And the central government, which has to find a solution to this issue, to this complex issue, is resorting to delay-dally tactics, I would say, sir. The people of all the three regions are fed up. And this way or that way, they want to know the decision and they want to see that the development comes in the state of Andhra Pradesh, sir, because the state have lost a lot of investment opportunities. And in particular, sir, the brand Hyderabad has been affected and lost, and Hyderabad has been at a loser side, I would say, sir. Sir, even as the state is on a way to slow recovery after the serious setback it suffered in the wake of long-term agitations and strikes, it cannot afford another bout of agitation. While the decision on the state's future is awaited, the state government is dragging its feet on effective implementation of GO 610. The Telangana employees have again given a strike notice since the assurance given to them at the time of calling of the in October 2011 have not been fulfilled. And everybody were expecting that the government would fulfill the promises made to those agitating employees, but it has not been fulfilled, sir. The political situation in the state continues to be fluid. It is strange to find here several ruling party legislators who defied the party whip during the no trust motion in December last, since the issue of the disqualification is pending with the speaker. The members of the ruling party and the main opposition party continue to be divided in regional lines. There are also other parties on either side of the regional divide. Not only the political executive, but also the administration is passing through a difficult phase, with several mega scams hitting the headlines every day. The scams relating to EMR, the Oblapuram mining, Jagan's assets case are being investigated by the Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI. A number of high-profile persons are now in jail, along with several officers, including 2 IAS officers and a former director of mining, and other IAS officers are being investigated by CBI for the role in these scams. So some IPS officers are also facing investigations on their role in assisting the Gujarat police in Sohrabuddin fake encounter case, even as the IPS top brass are fighting it out in AP High Court and the Administrative Tribunal and freely making allegations against one another. Discipline among the men in uniform has become the first casualty in view of this infighting. Sir, apart from the land allotment and mining scams, the liquor mafia grip on the state is unfolding. Anti-Corruption Bureau raids on these liquor syndicate have kicked off a storm. And I would also like to recall that I was the first person to raise this issue in the no confidence motion in December about this liquor mafia. And at that time, I had also warned the government, saying that, okay, please Be careful. Your government is being affected by the mining mafia, the land mafia, and now it is going to be the turn of liquor mafia. And we see after the ACB raise, the government has come to realize the magnitude of the loot by the liquor syndicate. Thousands of excise and police personnel, beside many media persons, have been reportedly named by the liquor syndicate as recipients of their mamuls. Most of the irregularities are in the liquor trade and prohibition and excise department, have been brought out by the CAG in the report on the functioning of the department during 2009 and 10 itself. The situation has only turned worse in the last couple of years. The liquor mafia operations are spread to every village and municipal ward, and thousands of belt shops flourishing in the states. The turnover of AP Beverages Corporation has shot up to 10,000 crores in the first 8 months in the current financial year, April-November 2011. The annual turnover is expected to cross rupees 15,000 crore. The maximum retail price violation, the liquor syndicates are amazing, another rupees 10,000 crore a year. So the diary seized from a liquor syndicate in Vizag district mentioned the MRP settlement minister among the beneficiary of the mamuls. The MRP settlement minister is not to be confused with the district minister or the district in charge minister. Allegations have been leveled about the functioning of several ministers, including 3 ministers handling important portfolios with the liquor trade in the state. And I would not like to go into more details because we would be having a discussion on this subject immediately after this, so we'll go in detail about that. So the people of the state are facing untold hardship due to the skyrocketing price. The common man, the Aam Aadmi, whom the Congress was to serve, is struggling to survive in the face of runaway inflation. We totally disagree with the governor's statement that the common man is getting respite since the food inflation, especially the price of food articles and vegetables, is coming well under control after a recent price rise. So the people are reeling under the impact of soaring prices of all essential commodities, including rice, pulse, edible oil, sugar, even domestic LPG. The situation may turn worse with huge shortfall in food grain production during the current crop season. The state is facing an unprecedented drought situation due to the near failure of monsoons. So the food grain production is expected to decline by almost 30 lakh tons. And this was well admitted in the governor's address during the current. He also mentioned that during the current crop year, due to this, 78 mandals have been declared as drought affected. It was only several days ago that a central team visited the state to take stock of the drought situation. Though the state has sought central assistance of rupees 2,584 crore for drought relief, it is anybody's guess what quantum of assistance the central government will release to the state. This is a question mark, sir. The government is unable to curb the spiraling price of essential commodities, leaving the people to their fate. Though the government has launched a massive milk mission, the price of milk are becoming prohibitive and beyond the reach of common man. The similarly egg, chicken and mutton prices are soaring. We do not know where this inflation will take us. So the governor talks about some initiative launched by the government and some other initiative which in fact are relaunched to rename the present regime. He paints a very rosy picture of the state economic situation, which is in fact passing through critical phase due to adverse seasonal conditions and prevailing political situation. In the last 3 years, the state has come with a very huge annual plan outlays, but there has been a big gap between the budgeted outlay and actual expenditures. So the various sections of people have been burdened with tax hike under the levies of specially value-added tax, motor vehicle tax, user charges, RTC bus fare, etc. Power consumers, especially domestic and commercial consumers, are worried about the impending hike in power tariff from April 2012. Though the Congress government after the 2009 elections have assured that power tariffs for domestic consumers will remain the same for another 5 years, and they've forgotten that promise made to the people. The DISCOM wants to collect the fuel surcharges from the power consumers for various years, and High Court has come to the rescue of consumers by staying this ill-conceived move, sir. How can the consumers pay for the surcharge for previous years? How can the Congress go back on its promise not to touch domestic tariff for 5 years? That is till 2014. Apart from this impending power tariff hike, the levy of surcharges by the DISCOM, the people in the state are facing very serious shortage of power, sir, during the summer months. So also the people in urban and rural areas are facing several shortage of drinking water. Now before the summer gets harsher, no indications are given in the governor's address about how the government's plan to tackle the twin issues of power shortage and water scarcity, sir. Sir, I was really shocked to see the findings, sir, of Andhra Pradesh Chamber of Commerce and Industry highlighted that 40% of power cuts during last 14 weeks have resulted in production loss of 31,750 crores, leading to industrial sickness and job losses, sir. Sir, in December itself, December 9th, the statement came that AP industry loses 12,000 crores due to power cuts. Sir, it is the same situation now also. The DISCOM had said that in the month of February and March, we could have 20% cut of power. But what we see in the month of February and March is 30% cut of power. The farming sector is affected. The industrial growth is affected. Many industries are shutting down. And we are losing in employment opportunities. And then again, the state claims to have got so much of industrial investment in the state in the recent concluded summit. I don't know, sir. In the budget, I will go in the more details about that, sir. But despite the burdening the people with pre and post-budget levies and hikes in the state taxes, sir, the state government is still facing huge revenue and fiscal deficit. The state debt, public debt would soon touch to 1.6 lakhs crores, sir. It is a dubious record that indicates the failing health of state economy and state finances. Yet the governor pats the government for its financial management and fiscal prudence. The growth in the state gross domestic product and per capita income is largely due to inflation, not due to any real increase in production and income, sir. Sir, under 2 rounds of Racha Banda program, lakhs of applications were received for white ration cards. The government has only issued coupons to eligible cardholders, and it refuses to issue white ration cards to them, sir. Sir, incidentally, despite the so-called release of lakhs of new ration cards, the governor mentioned the figures of 2.25 lakhs crore below poverty line BPL household in an address to legislature both in 2011 and 12. The white ration card in his address in 2011 was also 2.25 lakhs. And in 2012 also it is the same, 2.25 lakhs. And the government claims that they have distributed tokens and they've increased white ration cards. I really fail to understand how the government claims and what are these figures mentioned in the governor's address, sir. And again, if we have to see the economic survey, that gives the total different figures of white ration card in the states. Lakhs of application of old age, widow and disabled pension received during the 2 rounds of Racha Banda are pending sanction and eligible persons running from pillar to post. Similarly, though lakhs of Indramma houses have been constructed in 22 districts, sir, the scheme is yet to see the light of the day in Hyderabad district, where 3 lakh applicants for housing for poor have been received in 2 rounds, sir. Sir, I was seeing the collectors conference, sir. The collectors conference agenda notes and the book Revenue Department had given. I was really surprised and shocked to see, sir, in that the target which was promised in the year 2004 till now, sir, only 55% has been completed, sir. And I would not like to go into that. When we discuss about the housing demands, I will go in more detail, sir. But only one thing I would like to read out, sir. Sir, in the Indram, all phases together, including GO 171 and flood and physical progress, as on 30/11/2011, sir,